do you still feel unloved or unwanted, maybe rejected in some ways every time you spend time with your mom? Or maybe from time to time you're realizing that you're still holding resentment towards your mom, and you notice it's not resolved, but you try to push it away and carry on with your life and ignore it. But if this is the case, I have a message for you. In this video, I want to show you there is a different way of dealing with this pain, with this small resentment that you might think it's nothing. But because I have experienced that most of my life, and my mom was my greatest teacher to show me who I truly am and who I am not. And this is what I want to show you now. So let's first look at how come that you are getting upset. Maybe because she says something, what she does, or simply by thinking about her behavior from the past. Look exactly at what emotion is coming up. It could be resentment. You might feel never seen by her, that she doesn't really know you. She doesn't ask you any questions, how you are. She doesn't know what you like. You realize that she really doesn't know anything about you. Therefore, you assume she doesn't love me. You feel that she rejects you because you are different. You are an empath and she's not, and she doesn't understand where you're coming from. And therefore, really, that could be the reason, the main reason that you overlook. She pushes you away. So there's two factors here. The first one is your unresolved childhood issues are still being projected forward for you to look at them. They are still unresolved, and your inner child is still waiting for the love that she always wanted from her mom. She's waiting, she's longing, she's asking, demanding, can't understand why doesn't mom love me? Why doesn't she show me that she loves me? And it is, of course, a big question mark. It's a huge puzzle for the inner child because that seems so unnatural, right? And I know all about that. I couldn't understand it. And how can it be possible that my mom doesn't have an interest in me? That's how it looks. And that's what her actions say. But like I said, it was also my greatest eye opener to really come back to my true self and investigate what's going on. So the first thing I did, and I've done that for decades, to always work with my inner child. Whenever an upset comes up, or maybe anger or disappointment, or just being annoyed, everything is a little sign. Every one of those emotions is a guideline for you to go within. So to stop looking outside, just it's never the other person who is actually placing that upset feeling within you, right? They can't, it's impossible. So the situation with your mom always reactivates an old trigger. How many times has that happened? And how much longer do you want to do that? So if you feel it's time to actually go deeper and to stop looking outside and to try and push it away or ignore it, this is for you. This is your time. And so connect with the inner child. Really feel what she's feeling, what she's saying, what she's longing for, the words she keeps repeating. And then find a situation where this emotion, the triggering emotion, was actually present. There's maybe a scene that you remember immediately when you think about that, or when you tune into that emotion. It's likely the scene that caused that trigger. And this trigger needs to be met. So your inner child has to be involved, and you are now the parent that she has been longing for, that she felt she never had. So now you become the unconditionally loving parent, and you resolve that issue with your inner child. So it's a little bit like as if your mom in the past had resolved your little girl's pain there and then. This would be the ideal situation, and then the child would not carry on a trigger for the rest of her life and project it out forward onto all the important people in her life. But now there's the second issue that comes in here, because your mom had a huge amount of conditioning herself, and she most likely never felt loved by her parents, and she didn't have the support and the praise and the love that she wanted. So, how can she possibly give you that love that you want, that every child wants? And this is something that we overlook because our mind tends to look outside and says, why doesn't she do that? She should be doing that. She neglected me. And again, she did that. And why does she? And it's always out there. It's going around in circles and it's always looking outside. This is what everybody does. This is what we've been trained to do in society, in the schooling system, everywhere. And really, it's time now to become your own sovereign being again. That means you are the master of your life. And you're not looking for a rescuer. You're not looking for love outside of yourself. Because no person can give you the love that you really would love to feel. It always comes from within. And when you're reconnecting with your own heart, starting by reconnecting with your inner child, that will then guide you back to your heart. That's when the doors open, the door for your own innate love. And that is really what you're looking for, right? You want to be reconnected with yourself, with your true self, with the love that you are. Is that right? Let me know in the comments. So, this is exactly what I'm doing with you in my 3 months Rediscover Your Radiance healing journey. And we always go every week, we go into an issue that still gives you tears, that still makes you upset, or you feel a knot in your stomach or in your heart. And we look at that, we go into that. I guide you to connect with that. So we can resolve every week another issue. So we are uncovering all the layers that are on top of your true self that is residing in your heart, that has been longing and waiting, not longing, but it has been waiting for your little me, for your awareness, for your consciousness to return to itself. So stop looking outside. Stop trying to fix your mom, trying to change her, make her wrong, and, say something to her that you want her to do. But she can't help herself. She is as she is. By the way, I want to also throw in here that all that longing, that needing the love from the outside, the looking for a rescuer, the the pain you feel that is longing, needing love, that is your egoic mind. It's your conditioned egoic mind that is kind of operating from a small little cell, because it experiences itself as a separate entity. And we believe that that's who we are. We believe we are that emotion. We identify with that emotion. That's why it becomes so important. And we take everything others do around us personally. And that, of course, perpetuates our pain. The ego mind actually grabs the childhood's wound, the lack that she experienced, and then makes it its own pain and keeps repeating it year after year. It's giving, of course, because the pain is unresolved, it will come up naturally because it's unresolved, it's still there, it needs to be looked at. And the ego mind takes it personally and kind of, look how hurt I am, look how bad off, how badly off I am, how much I am a victim. And I'm not saying you are thinking you are a victim, but it's It's the beginning. When you're at the beginning of the journey, you will feel like a victim, but you are already out of that because you've done healing work with yourself so much, but you've never really worked with your inner child. And this is you I want to work with. You are empathic and you are spiritually minded. You understand about the ego mind, but you are still forgetting when you are acting from it because this is like a blind spot. We can't really see it. It happens to all of us, but the more trained you become by placing your awareness on where you are acting and or reacting from, and the more aware you become, and this is what I help you on the 3 month journey, the more empowered you become, the more you're rising beyond that mind, and the more you are immediately stopping all that projection and you're coming back into your heart and you are just being present with what is occurring rather than trying to change it. And you're no longer fighting with what occurred and not liking it. So you are taking back your power. You are empowering yourself by staying heart centered instead of projecting out, by owning the old emotion and finally being ready to look at it and dealing with it and giving your inner child the love she's been wanting. And then you will love yourself a lot more naturally because the layers are gone and your own love is it's emanating now. It can shine because the layers are gone. And that's when you're also looking at other people very differently. Number one, you will look at your mom and really see how she was. You can forgive her immediately. You can let go of how she is because that is how she is. You're present with what is and you are allowing her to be as she is. Because that is what love does. So now you're not acting and you're being identified with your ego mind anymore. You're not acting from luck and false belief and fear-based thinking and shame and guilt. You are now reconnected with your heart, and therefore you are using the energies of love, allowance, understanding, compassion, being present, and speaking truth only. You're using those energies and qualities to be, and that then creates a completely different person. So you've basically moved out of the ego mind and you are now within your heart a lot more often. Yes, you will still trip up and you forget. And it takes maybe more than 3 months. But this is the beginning. This is the start of being guided by me all the time. You always have access to me. You can always text me and say anything that's come up, share your emotional wobble, whatever is there for you. I am accompanying you. I am being with you step by step, whatever is happening. And it's all good. It's all there for you to evolve back into your heart. So you basically, you don't really evolve. Actually, that word is not the correct word. So you really return to your heart. You return to your true self. You are remembering who you are, and you are choosing more and more to live from your heart, to think from love, to act from love, and to speak from love. And this is such a transformation. My last client who went through that 3 month healing journey with me said that she had regained her joy for life. Before, it was really hard for her to get out of bed sometimes. She felt really like she didn't want to take part in life. She just didn't want to be out there because she had gained weight. She felt no confidence in herself anymore. And when we went through the sessions week after week after week, it wasn't always easy for her to actually come and show up. But I've always encouraged her, I've always guided her, I've helped her to be there and she was incredibly grateful for having that little push sometimes that she needed, so she wouldn't basically dwell in her poor little me. That came up at times. And now her fears were dissolved, the major fears that were in her way, and she's stepped back into life, doing activities with other people, making new friends, and feeling the confidence in herself again. I want to invite you to sign up for my free taster session where you will be guided through one of your issues that is coming up for you, it's triggering you right now. So you can experience what it's like to work with me for 3 months. The link is in the description. I look forward to really to meeting with you and working with you. And until next time, don't forget, love yourself no matter what.